our show. So this is Dave Kahn with Extreme Music Dreams, or also known as Extreme Metal Dreams. Website, I'm sitting here in McCaw Hall with none other than Colin, bassist, right? Of Australia Pink Floyd show.
That's right, yeah.
So you guys, this is your first date on the tour? Or?
It is, yeah. We flew over on Wednesday. We had a bit of a production day yesterday, make sure all the stuff came out of the boxes, not broken and working. And happy to say everything's working. And so first show tonight.
So I understand that the way that you came across being part of this band is you actually saw one of their shows. At the beginning.
Yeah, going back a long time, and sort of towards the end of the 1980s, I went and saw them a few times in our local, hometown of Adelaide in Australia. And I knew Steve for the band anyway. He was a friend. We'd been in a band together a few years previous. And I used to go and see them, and I always thought that they were pretty impressive, the way they did things and kind of attention to detail. And then their bass player they had left for whatever reason, and Steve rang me up and said, what was I doing? And I just finished with another band, and it just kind of worked out. And,
your first tour with them was the UK tour, I believe.
Yeah,
according to your guys' history.
Yeah, they had a fan club convention gig in London. So I did 3 shows with them in Australia, and then we went to London and we did the fan club thing, and then we stayed there and kept on trying to get as much work as we could, and that's kind of how it started off. And it was pretty small places then, apart from the fan club one, which was a big theatre in Wembley. But most of the shows were quite small then, standing venues, and the crowd were this close with their arms folded, wondering what this thing was, the Australian Pink Floyd show.
Scrutinizing whether or not you guys are going to be good enough.
Yeah, absolutely. I think just about every person in the audience was a musician, sort of seeing if we could do it or not. And, fortunately we impressed everybody, and it kept on going, and here we are. That was 21 years ago.
Yeah, if I recall, you guys played David Gilmour, of all people, from Pink Floyd, his 50th birthday.
We did.
And that's saying a lot, There's not a lot of good tribute bands out there that can really do a band usually justice. I've watched you guys quite a bit on TV. This will be my first time finally getting to see you guys live.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you guys do to really, besides playing the music so perfect? I mean, is it...
What you mean to get the result?
Keep the crowd, the result that you have.
Yeah, we're sort of fortunate really that we've got such a good team of people around us, and we've got, the show is quite big, you're going to see it tonight. We've got a big light show and video projections and lasers, and we've got Pink Floyd's front of house sound engineer doing our sound.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Colin, he did the 94 Division Bell tour, and he's doing our sound, so he's like the final kind of icing on the cake to make us sound just like Floyd. So there's a lot of really good people, behind the stage. While we're on stage, there's a lot of people behind it that, add a lot to what we do. So, and I think the main thing for us, the reason we sound like Pink Floyd is because we've been doing it for so many years. And I don't think you can form a band today and next week go and start playing and expect to sound like Pink Floyd. You just can't do it. It's taken a long time, and studying the music and studying the sounds and learning to play together as a band, and it's kind of a time-served thing.
Considering how long you guys have been together and doing this, I can't really think of too many tributes that really pay the homage that you guys do to Pink Floyd. I think even the all-female tribute band, the Iron Maidens, they get a lot of endorsements from a lot of the original members of Iron Maiden, and those girls have been doing it close 15 or more years that I know of.
I guess most of them, they come and go. They decide, I know, let's form a Pink Floyd tribute band and get a few gigs maybe. But I think what they find out is it's tough. It's not easy, you know. Yeah, especially Pink Floyd, because you've got to have this big show to go with it.
Well, see, that's what I was going to...
It costs a lot of money.
That's interesting that you do bring that up, because when I was looking, and there's, you know, your guys' history talks about the 5 band members, but a lot of people don't realize all the backup chorus girls you got to have.
Yeah.
And some of the one of the DVDs, I seen you guys had the full production, the whole, you know, just like I've seen Pink Floyd do, you know.
Yeah.
So if it's just the 5 of you, guys, how do you guys know that you're getting the best backups that you have for those tours when you go?
You mean the other musicians we have? Well,
yeah.
I mean, the band that we're touring with this time, that all of us have been together for a minimum of 4 years, and most, I mean, like our sax player's been with us for probably 10, 15 years now, and you know, so we've been together as a band for a long time, and we tend to try and keep it the same. Occasionally a member will leave and we'll have to get someone in, but it's actually easier nowadays with the internet, because we're sort of in touch with a lot of other musicians via the internet, and sometimes they contact us and say if we ever need somebody they would be interested, and so we kind of keep our ears open, and so if we need someone we have hopefully got people we can call on, you know. Absolutely. But as I say, we keep together the people that we've got now, that we've kept together for quite a long time. So.
And now you guys tour what I believe the rest of this month and a majority of October in the U.S.
Yeah.
And then you guys are off to another country.
We're off. We have a break for Christmas, and then we start up again before the end of January in France, and we do the European thing, and we'll be in the Europe and UK pretty much from the middle of January until probably the end of May next year. Fairly, doing a lot of shows.
So what's the crowds like through different countries? I mean, because I'm sure that you look at a lot of our metal crowds here and our rock crowds, just for rock and roll here in the United States, we get a big crowd, but not like what we see when you look at Castle Donington and places like that over in Europe and the UK. So what's it like to see all the different size crowds that you guys play to?
It is interesting. I mean, the common denominator is that they're all Pink Floyd fans, and it doesn't matter whether you're in Germany or America or Poland or wherever you are, they're all big Pink Floyd fans. So they have that similarity, but then there's differences in the way they respond, and there's differences in the songs that they like more than other ones. A crowd in Germany may prefer a certain kind of Pink Floyd song. A crowd in the USA maybe prefers something different.
For here, a lot of it's going to be the Dark Side of the Moon and The Wall, of course.
And the American audience tend to like the kind of rockier kind of things, and the gig becomes a bit more. Not that we do anything different, but it becomes a bit more of a kind of a rock atmosphere because the audience are kind of so up for it. But then state to state, that differs a little bit as well. You get a slightly different response in Connecticut than you get in California.
Yeah.
So, and that's also like Europe, where a German audience is quite different to a French audience or a Polish audience or an Italian audience or wherever you are.
So what albums can we expect to hear stuff from on this tour?
You'll definitely hear some Dark Side stuff. Wish You Were Here. There's a track from Animals in there. There's
That's one of my favorite albums.
There's an older thing in there. There's most of there's something from most of the albums. We try and keep it. It's difficult because they did so much music. So, but we try and keep a good cross section, because there's always going to be some guy in the 17th row that wants to hear something from metal.
Yeah.
The majority of people want to hear stuff, I believe, from the kind of Dark Side through to The Wall kind of. period.
Yeah.
So that's probably the core of
their biggest period.
Yeah, that's
biggest
probably
hits.
that makes up the core of the gig, and then there's also division bell stuff and marriage lap stuff, and so yeah, we try and keep a good broad cross section, and that keeps it interesting for us as well.
So what's it like to know that you're out there doing so respectful by such a great band, and know that you pull in the same crowd that would go and see Pink Floyd themselves, and yet they're willing to just come and see you guys because you guys are that good?
Yeah, oh, that's amazing to us, because obviously we're Pink Floyd fans as well, so we're like the audience, we're the same, we love Pink Floyd as well, so to be playing to thousands of people that love Floyd and can't hear Floyd live anymore because they're not touring anymore, the fact that they choose to come and see us, and the best thing is that they come again, they come once and then they come again and they come again and they come again, and we get people, we're doing a meet and greet in a little while, and some of those people will probably tell us that this is their 17th time they've seen us or whatever, and they've travelled all over the country to see us, and and it's incredible because they're choosing to spend their hard-earned dollar on us and not on someone else. So we're really very appreciative of that. And if we are filling that void for those people in the absence of Pink Floyd, that's amazing.
I'd have to say, if they're following you around from state to state and certain countries to countries, in the European, then that must tell you just how good you guys really are.
It's
got to be humbling.
It does humble us a little bit because we're just normal guys, and we know we've reached a certain level, but when the audience is kind of praising us like that, you sort of think, wow, it's bigger than we realise it is.
But isn't that a good thing?
Yeah, it's great.
I mean, it keeps Pink Floyd's music relevant
at
all times.
And that's why, people always say to us nowadays, you're not really a tribute band, you've gone above a tribute band, but really that is what we are, we're a tribute band.
Understandable, but I'd have to agree with those fans because...
I know why they say that, because it has gone into arenas and these big sort of theatres, which you don't really, think of a tribute band doing. But at the core of it, that's what we are. We pay tribute to Pink Floyd, and that's what we wanted to do.
Did you guys ever expect it to go this big?
We dreamt of it, but we never in a million years expected it. No way.
How'd you guys realize that you're actually going to be able to do this for possibly the remaining time of your musical career?
I think it's always surprising to us when we walk out on the stage and we look out and there's so many people, and you think, wow, this is serious. This isn't just playing around anymore.
I gotta say, I'm excited to be taking pictures of you guys tonight, and I'm blessed to get to do the interview with you. And for me, I turned down quite a few other concerts that fit a little more of what we do on our metal side of our website, but I just couldn't help it. The last time I got to see Pink Floyd was in the 90s. And, so...
everyone,
And so for me, to be able to come and enjoy you guys live, I've already got one of the DVDs, and I'm sure I'll probably be picking up a couple more. What are the things that you guys... Do you set goals when you go out on tour to hit a certain...
I think the goal generally is just to stay sane, stay healthy, and play to as many people as possible, and reach the a high level of quality in our playing, and that's the goal, is to not to get slack with it, and not to stop caring about it.
Now comes the final part of the interview, and it's the tech part.
Okay.
As a bassist, what are you using to play through?
It's similar to Roger Waters, I guess, in the sense that it's Fender Precision basses, which is what he was kind of well known for always using. I've got 3 of those with me. Ashdown bass gear through Boss Effects. that's it pretty much. Very simple, but it works, and it works every night, which is important. It's very reliable. You know, I've never had anything break down on me, so
that's a good thing.
yeah, that's a really important thing. And I always say this when people ask us about gear, because you know we play 100, 120 shows a year, and when you get those boxes out of the truck and get the gear out, you've got to know that it's going to work, because you haven't got time to start sourcing it and getting other stuff. And you know, there's the effects units have been worked on and programmed, and you know you can't lose that kind of stuff. It's a bit better nowadays because of the digital gear. You can save backups of stuff, and but in the early days when a lot of it was analog, you know, 21 years ago when we started, and a lot of it was analog, and if you lost something or it didn't work, you know you had to start from scratch again. So yeah, the reliability thing is a really big important part.
So what kind of strings do you like to use, and what sizes?
Good question. I think the set I'm using is like 40 to 95 or something. They're quite light actually. A lot of bass players are surprised that they're as light as they are. You know, I think I don't play too heavily, so it's all about you know, the way you play them to get the sort of tones you want, rather than, you know, if I was a more heavy-handed player, maybe I'd have a heavier strings. And I've used, you know, all sorts of brands of strings. I've tried all sorts over the years, you know, so no particular string.
You don't have a certain company that you like to use a lot more of?
You know, we have like an Ernie Ball sort of deal, so we get stuff from Ernie Ball. They help us out. They're really good. The guitar players as well. So you know, they work out well for me. I've had other strings in the past that maybe haven't lasted as well and whatever, but again, that changes night to night. It's more to do with temperature and, you know, all that, rather than the string. You know, the strings are pretty consistent.
Well, I'm going to let you get going, so we're going to end this interview so you can get you some rest before the meet and greet.
Yeah.
And then get ready for that gorgeous show that I'm excited to see.
Yeah.
So once again, thanks again for giving me a little bit of your time, Colin.
No problem.
And thanks for doing what you guys do with Pink Floyd for us to enjoy still.
Pleasure. Thank you.